Hello. So today I wanted to talk about something that many readers have asked me about, and is how do I defeat this character with this power set or that character with a different power set, etc. And this is um, quite a complicated thing in a sense because when I set out to create this game, I had in my mind, like many of the comic books that I read as a kid, where heroes were typically defeated. So I tried to create different power sets and villains or, well, opponents that would not be able to be defeated by every single type of hero. Of course, in the game, mostly you're just playing as an individual. Later in the game, sometimes you can have a team and maybe have a sidekick or whatever, but mostly you're just playing by yourself. So not all power sets can win all fights. And as I said, this was a conscious decision. And here is a first page of one of my favorite stories of Spider-Man as a kid, which is when actually Spider-Man was defeated. So, what does this bring me to? Well, it's actually not that you will be always successful, but that sometimes some of the enemies you'll face will actually defeat you. And the game does allow you to recover from your defeats. That is a design decision. You probably will survive, and then you will have to heal and move forward. And in the same way that this story from Spider-Man, then in part 4, yes, he's been defeated, he's actually been buried, but being left alive by his enemy, Kraven the Hunter, and he's been, allowed to actually survive and get out of his tomb. So there are various paths through the game, and the point that I want to make is that you might not be able to achieve a given path with a given power set. So if you go in a certain direction, maybe with mind powers, for example, if you have like a telepath, you might find that a lot of the enemies you're facing are going to defeat you because they have strong psyches or are completely immune to mental powers. For example, if you're facing robots. So in that case, you might have to just go through a different path in the game, avoid those enemies, and go into different situations. Now, of course, you can also lower the difficulty in the game. If you lower the difficulty enough, then probably you will be able to defeat those enemies, or you'll do better. My hope is that as I go forward with this game, I'm adding more side missions, I'm adding more abilities to do different things and follow different paths through the game, so increasing the replayability. But still, that doesn't mean that every power set will be able to succeed every side quest or every path through the game. You'll just have to think, well, actually, if I'm going for a telepath, I know that if I go into this section of the game, I'm going to be facing people that I can't defeat, so as a telepath, probably I cannot go in that manner, or I'll have to lower the difficulty of the game. So this is, as I said, by design, and I hope that this also creates a challenge when going through the game. I said because I'm trying to increase the amount of side missions, it also means that when you go through the game, you can go through it in different ways, and the more I expand the game, the more I hope it's replayable. And defeat is, yes, as I said, inevitable. Another of my favorite stories is when Colossus encounters the Juggernaut in a bar for different reasons. Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and him in a bar having a drink. Colossus sort of like gets into a fight and doesn't realize he's facing the Juggernaut, and he's thoroughly defeated, while Nightcrawler and Wolverine watch for different reasons, because Wolverine is hoping that Colossus does get a bit of a smack on that day, whatever. But Colossus doesn't have a chance to win that fight. He's both drunk and just physically unable, not strong enough to defeat Juggernaut in a hand-to-hand battle. So defeat was inevitable for him. Now, that doesn't mean that the story doesn't have a certain point. The story means, he gets defeated, he gets annoyed at his friends, why didn't you help me? But part of the story is Wolverine's out to teach him a lesson. Well, the same way in this game, if you don't defeat a certain enemy, you've hopefully still learned a lesson on what their powers are, and maybe how you can try to defeat them next time if you replay, or just avoid them completely, or change your power set. So that was what I wanted to explain today. Yes, I mean, just to tell you that I finished a card game based on Hero Villain Battle Royale. Anybody who's interested, you can actually buy it. And hopefully by the time that this video is posted online, I will have submitted the DLC to Choice of Games. I'm hoping to do... I haven't submitted at the time I'm making this video, but this video will come online in a couple of days or so. That's not the correct DLC, but anyway, that's from the previous anyway. And I'm also making meeple throwing card game, so any of you who would like to, please follow it on Kickstarter and you'll be notified when it launches. So thank you so much for listening. And here is some of the artwork for Armageddon. So Hero Villain Armageddon. Once I finish these updates, then hopefully I will go back to this and make some good progress on it. Thank you so much for listening.